Welcome to Petros Family Wealth. Just recently we had a great question here in our comments. If I can do it in a tax efficient way, why wouldn't I convert all of my pre-tax to a Roth IRA? And so today we're going to cover 3 reasons why you would not convert all of your pre-tax dollars to a Roth. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive in. Here at Petros, we love serving others, answering questions, and helping them become better investors and wealth managers for them and their families. And so keep the questions coming. I'd love to generate some other ideas from you. So top 3 reasons are going to be: 1, if your tax rate in the future is going to be lower than the day of your Roth conversion. Number 2 is if you are charitably inclined and you would love to use your IRA as a charitable vehicle both during your life and at your passing, then it may not make sense to do a Roth conversion. And then the 3rd is if you're using it as a legacy piece for your children and your children's tax bracket is going to potentially be lower than yours. So those are the 3 summary reasons at the top. And so I wanted to cover here today, just showing an example of if you were to convert and in the future you're going to be in a lower tax bracket, what the net impact is going to be. And so here in this example, I have somebody converting $100,000 or not converting $100,000 in year 0, and they're constantly in the 30% tax bracket for their whole life. And then in the future, let's say if we had in the year 20, we had a lower tax bracket of a 20%, it would actually be a detriment to their wealth if they converted 20 years prior. And in this example, doubling funds every 10 years, in that last year, in year 20, at a detriment of around $40,000. And so that would be first reason, if you're lower in the future, don't convert. Second reason is around charitably inclined folks. And this can be both during your life as well as at your passing. During your life, recently Congress put in place, it's been around for a while, but finally was permanent here a couple years ago, what's called a qualified charitable distribution. And what that means is that you can gift your mandatory distribution up to $100,000 after age 70 and a half. Now that's different than the required minimum distribution ages. The QCDs, they left that rule alone when they changed those RMD ages, just to make it more confusing for folks. But essentially at age 70 and a half, you can distribute directly from your IRA to a qualified charity up to $100,000 per year, and it's not a taxable event. It's actually better than if we were to gift to a charity and have a tax deduction. It's as if that income never even was generated, but it will count towards your mandatory distribution. So if somebody's goal is to gift $5,000, $10,000 a year, even if their mandatory distribution is $2,000 or $3,000, they can continue to gift more from that traditional IRA during their life, as long as it goes directly to the charity. It cannot go to your bank account and then to the charities. If it does that, then it's a regular standard deduction, itemized deduction type of tax strategy. So a lot of times it makes more sense to work with your IRA provider and have a letter of authorization to cut that check directly to the charity, just so that you don't get dinged on those taxes there. So that's the second reason. Third reason, and this one's similar to the first one. First one being if your tax bracket's lower in the future. If part of your goal is to leave a legacy behind for your children and their tax bracket is going to be lower than yours, well then potentially it makes sense to not do the Roth conversion, because you're converting at a higher rate and providing the kids less in the future. And so if your children's, or you expect your children's tax returns to be in a lower tax bracket for whatever reason, then potentially it might make sense to handle those mandatory distributions, pay those a little bit higher taxes, use those QCDs. That'll actually be a bigger legacy piece to them, given that they're in a lower tax bracket. So I hope you found that helpful. And if you did, please go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And honestly, I'd love to hear the next questions that you have, and happy to provide some ideas for videos in the future. Thanks so much for your time.